illusionist in the history of magic. Preface and acknowledgments. Once upon a time, there was a woman whose life was a TV show. No matter where you looked, she was always on screen somewhere, and over the years, she seemed to change more often than the channel. On one broadcast, she was a dancer, on another a singer or an orchestra conductor, and on yet another an actress. She was also a rare thing for the time, a female ventriloquist. She commanded a zoo full of huggable heroes, but her and the public's favorites were a sassy lamb, a southern dog, and a self-assured horse, all of whom talked back. Shari Lewis, with the help of Lamb Chop, Hush Puppy, and Charlie Horse, raised 3 generations of children, including a daughter of her own. But if any of this cute and fuzzy stuff makes her sound like saccharine, forget it. Shari was a hot ticket. She was a dynamic, versatile, talented, focused, inventive entertainer who broke down doors and constantly found new doors to open when old ones started to close. She headed her own television company in an era when few women were employed in middle management in the broadcast industry, let alone at the top. Finally, as a beloved performer, she left a legacy of memories that can still make her now grown-up fans smile and sometimes cry. Yet for all her popularity with audiences worldwide, Shari was essentially a loner. Typecast as a ventriloquist, despite having half a dozen other skills, she fervently tried to broaden her career, until at last she came to embrace her notoriety. Leaning into her gift for communicating with children, she became an educator as well as an entertainer. Edutainment is what she called it, years before others bent the term to serve their own ambitions. And she perfected it, earning award after award for her achievements. Shari Lewis's story is one of persistence. Her singular goal was to stay on television. Although success came early, she somehow knew that it was only ephemeral, and her life became a struggle to retain it. What it cost her and how it affected those around her are what this audiobook is about. It's also about what she achieved. Her life, which lasted only 65 years, and her career, which lasted nearly as long, are lessons in survival and reinvention, and also an inspiration for future innovators. The authors of this book first came together in 1994 to chart that survival. Nat Segaloff was asked by Weller Grossman Productions in Los Angeles to produce Shari Lewis and Lamb Chop as an episode for the Biography TV series on the Arts and Entertainment Network, now A&E. At the time, Mallory Lewis was known as Mallory Tarcher, the daughter of Shari and Jeremy Tarcher, and was working on her mom's TV series, Lamb Chop's Play-Along, and later, the Charlie Horse Music Pizza. Mallory not only appeared in Nat's documentary, but became a friend. After Shari died in 1998, Mallory picked up Lamb Chop and assumed her mother's professional name of Lewis. For reasons neither Mallory, Nat, nor Lamb Chop can explain, it took the 3 of them 20 years to stumble upon the obvious idea of writing this book and doing the audiobook. This is not a standard biography. Because Shari, through her puppets, spoke in several voices, the authors decided that this audiobook should too. In addition to traditional quotes embodied in the narrative, Mallory will tell side stories and standalone anecdotes in the form of audio sidebars. It'll be like pausing a video to hear someone else in the room fill in a fascinating blank. There have been many threads in the knitting of Shari Lewis and Lamb Chop. There's the way Shari discovered her inner lamb. There's the truth behind Hush Puppy's personality. There's where the original Lamb Chop lives. There's the story of how Shari wrote a Star Trek episode as an on-camera vehicle for herself, and then got forced off her own script. There's Lamb Chop's memorable testimony before a congressional committee, and there are many other adventures. The legacy of Lamb Chop continues through Mallory, who performs all over the world with her mother's fabled hand puppet. In her act, she does something that her mother never did. She brings parents as well as kids up on the stage. As she and Lamb Chop do their act, the tears flow not from the kids, but from the parents who joyfully remember Shari from when they were young. Many grown-ups of a certain age admit that as their families grew apart, Shari was the only adult friend they had. Grown men will blushingly confess that they had a teenage crush on her, and grown women will say that they drew strength from seeing a woman in charge. Shari's impact on American television was profound. It worked on both individual and institutional levels. Perhaps therein lies the secret of her fame, and why maintaining it with such struggle. She had the ability to relate to people one-on-one, yet the television industry failed to see the importance of this gift, and she had to spend much of her time proving her talent.